Test 1 2, test 1 2. Good day, Chicago. How are we doing, my peeps? This is the Chicago Troll coming to you live from Fackerton Lane Studios in the heart of downtown Chicago. Tonight's guest has been in the books for about 2 weeks now, ever since my boy Freddie couldn't make it last podcast. We've been trying to get him down here, but I guess he's been having some problems with his apartment. We were trying to get him in the studio, but I guess he's down on Lower Wacker Drive. You know, the city of Chicago is really trying to regentrify that area. We like what they're doing. They got a whole lot of cardboard boxes, brand new cardboard boxes down there. A lot of new residents, people like that. Freddie's got a whole bunch of new neighbors. Freddie's got to be baking cakes. You know, he's got his wife down there and all that stuff. They're baking cakes and pies. They got all these new neighbors. You got to welcome gifts and all that stuff. Got to be a good neighbor, you know, when you're down there. Regardless, like I was saying, we got our guest in here tonight. Like I said, she's been in the books for a while. Her name is Jane Doe. I swear to God, it's actually spelled D-O-U-G-H. Not playing. It's like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Jane, how are we doing tonight? How was your trip in?
Doing good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. You know, earlier this week I was visiting the grandparents down in Florida, so I came here straight from O'Hare. Plane landed, turned my phone off airplane mode, and the first notification I got was about some gale warning. I had to look up what a gale warning was. I guess it's been super windy up here. Anyways, I decided to hop in the Uber instead of taking the Blue Line and sat in about hour and a half worth of traffic for 10 times the price of that train ticket, so I guess you could say that mistakes were made.
All right, well, let's talk about the Blue Line here, because I don't know. Personally, if I had to take a choice between taxi, Uber, or Blue Line, I think in terms of price, Blue Line, bargain deal. But when it comes to, you know, riding in luxury or anything like that, taxis, you know, half of them smell like they still got that smell from the person who was just in there. The Blue Line, personally, I just think just smells like piss and shit from all the people who are on there. And then Ubers, like you said, I mean, you got an Uber, and who knows, some of those guys, I mean, I got in from the Knicks game yesterday. I was watching the Knicks-Celtics game. Good game. Celtics won, but we got in yesterday, flew into O'Hare, same situation. Got in the Uber, and this guy's got Waze on. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that app. This guy's got Waze on. He's trying to get me back to my house, and he took me somewhere west of the city just to get back in and come back east. The guy had no idea what he was doing, but I guess because Waze had something about traffic and they measure how long it takes. Regardless, let's get into it. Yeah, so Jane sends me this week this email last week, and she says, "Look, you know, I'd love to make it onto the show. Got a couple things I want to talk about. First thing we're going to start talking about tonight is pizza. You know, Chicago's famous for its pizza, especially the deep dish. So we're going to be talking about pizza tonight. Jane, what do you got for us?
You know, being from Chicago, we are very selective about the pizza that we eat. We have lots of choices. We've got deep dish, thin crust, any of the toppings that you could ever imagine. Some people even just call me the pizza connoisseur. I'm just that passionate about pizza. Anyways, let's get down to it. Let's talk about it. What is your go-to pizza place?
All right, I like it. So yes, like you said, Chicago, thin, thick, got a whole bunch of different toppings. Personally, I think if I really had to get down to it, top pizza place, if this is just like my standard, you're going Friday night, Pete's, I'm going to end up going Giordano's 10 times out of 10. I don't live too far away from Giordano's, so when I'm sitting here contemplating my Friday night, if I'm going out or staying in, or if I just want to watch a movie or what the deal is, I'm going Giordano's. I'm calling them up. You know, I know Chrysalin's gonna she's gonna answer the phone. She's gonna say, "Look, Mr. Troll, what do you want tonight? Just you want the usual?" She knows that when I go there, I get deep dish sausage pizza every time, with a little bit of Parmesan cheese on the side, and possibly a couple of those little like crushed red pepper packs. You know, I like those. All right, though, lady. What about you? You like thick, thin? Where's your go-to? Because you're, like you said, you're the pizza connoisseur. I want to know, well, like, where do these people got to go to eat to get a good pizza? All right, so I want you to give me top three. I want you to give me best thick crust, best thin crust, and then what would you do for your like a good drunk pizza? And then, you know, which do you prefer and then we'll get into maybe like if you had to eat one the morning after and you had leftovers, like a frozen or like it was in the if it was in a fridge, which one would you want to eat? Like what brand, or if it's store bought, whatever. Just give me the details.
All right, so you're asking me what my top 3 pizza places are. First one, I think I'll just have to go with Lou Malnati's. I grew up eating it. I still eat it. It's easily my favorite deep dish pizza. But my second place to go to, I think I'll just go Lou Malnati's again. So if thick crust, I'll do thin crust. I mean, you really can't go wrong when you go there. I go to Lou Malnati's a lot. That's just going to be my entire top 3 is going to be Lou Malnati's. You just really can't go wrong if you do pepperoni, if you do sausage, if you just do straight cheese. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, it's just too good,
All right, so you got Lou's, and more Lou's. So then what about like, do you have a favorite like drunk pizza or something like that? Do you prefer restaurant? I mean, obviously like Lou's. Are there certain drunk pizzas that are better store bought or things like that? What's your go-to if you know you're getting smacked at the end of the night and you got to toss something in the oven? What do you want to go like?
I'd say if I'm doing drunk pizza, I don't want to spend the money on restaurant bought pizza just because I feel like it'd be a waste. If you're drunk, you're just looking for substance to get into your stomach before you go to bed. So drunk pizza, 100% of the time I would do Jack's. I feel like it's a very underrated pizza, but it's cheap and it cooks fast. Takes 15 minutes to bake it in the oven, and then you're good to go. You just eat the entire pizza and you're fine the next day. Nothing, no hangover, no nothing.
All right, I'll agree with you on that one. Jack's is actually not that bad. They got the Supreme, they got pepperoni, they got pretty good variety, I guess, in terms of things. Plus, I think 9 times out of 10 they're running a deal on it where you can get like three for I don't even know, like $1. I don't even they got a whole bunch of different stuff going on.
No, you can't beat it.
All right, so then so if you had leftovers, so you get Lou's or whatever, so you got leftovers for something and you couldn't finish the entire extra large just to yourself, what pizza, if that was the situation, what pizza are you going to have that you prefer best to eat cold?
To eat cold, I mean, interesting you bring that up. I feel like I'm a rarity of the sort because I am not a big fan of cold pizza. Even if it's a leftover, the next day I just throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and I prefer my pizza to be warm. I feel like that might discredit my pizza connoisseur title, but it is what it is.
All right, so now that I feel like we've pretty much exhausted pizza for everything it's worth, we've got your tap, we've got your opinion on that stuff. Okay, so we talked about drunk pizza. What's gonna get you there? Like before you're eating that pizza, let's move on to something. I know you said one of your other topics you want to talk about was drinks. We're sipping on some tequila and something. I don't even what's in this drink we got here.
I think right now we've got some Altos tequila. Then you fill half of the glass with Sprite and the other half with orange juice. It's not bad. It really gets the job done.
All right, so we're talking about drinks. What is your favorite drink for you're having your buds over and maybe you're not trying to get smacked, but you're just trying to get a little bit lit so that you could have that pizza at the end of the night and just you sleep real good, What's that drink that's going to get you there?
I like it. Well, personally, I'm a wine kind of girl.
Oh, no.
I like my red wine. But if you're buying a lot of wine, especially for a lot of people, it can get super pricey, especially if it's like a nice brand or a special occasion. But to try to combat the price of it, and I think it's just the best value personally. I am a chillable red Franzia kind of girl. It's 5 bottles and 1 box of wine, and it only costs like $12. So when you think of it, it's an unbeatable deal,
Okay, but are you so you get wine, but then what about the guys? You got guys coming over? You gonna be serving beer? You gonna be serving alcohol? You gonna have a little John Daniels on the rocks, or what? What's your go-to if you're gonna have to have? Well, first let's go with beer because that's your second cheapest option. If you're giving
True.
somebody else alcohol, you're gonna give them beer. What are they getting when they
No,
come
it
over?
really depends, like, how many people you're trying to serve. If you're having, like, a party for, like, 20, 30 people,
Jeez.
you're just going to go cheapest option. You're going Bud Light, Coors Light, best value for the best quantity. But if it's just a few of your best buds, maybe grab, like, a craft beer in Chicago. There's a bunch of options. I like Lagunitas. They have a lot of good beers, some seasonal. So I feel like that's always a good option to go to when you're only hosting a few other people over.
You like Lagunitas. I'm a big fan of the Rev Pills, the Revolution Brewing. Some people say they all taste the same. I think there's a slight difference between all of them. Obviously, you got Goose Island. What else we got? Then we got a couple other
There's
places down here.
Half Acre. It's really the main ones.
They're endless. There's a couple.
Yeah,
of them.
there's a lot.
A few beers. I had one the other day. Said it was in Chicago. Name of the beer was Sungasm. Couldn't get over it. All right, so we're having beers. We're tossing back some brews and some apparently box wine. What's your so if you're serving for few people, do you have like a signature drink or something, like a hard alcohol drink that's really is kind of just one of those things where you go to your buddy's wedding. You could get it at the wedding, or you could just serve it at your house. It's kind of one of those things. It doesn't really take too much to make. What's your drink?
I would say my go-to alcohol in that kind of situation, I would probably do gin. I know might be a little aggressive of a move. It's either people love it or they hate it. There's no in between, but...
It's pretty polarizing.
Yeah, I'm one of the people that loves it, so I like doing, gin and tonics. That's an easy drink to make. It takes 30 seconds to put together. I also like experimenting, putting like gin with all these different fruity kind of juices. Most people really don't like that from who I've tested it on, but I'm a fan of it, so if I like it, I'm going to make it and drink it.
Okay, so you got your gin, so that's what you're having? So
I think so, yeah.
I feel like gin and tonic is one of those ones where, and if you're, like I said, it's very polarizing. If you're one of those people who doesn't drink a lot of gin and tonic,
you're not going to like it.
And
you're going to hate it.
And you don't like it, and you're really not trying to get absolutely smacked at an open bar event or at somebody's house or things like that. I feel like that's a good drink to say, all right, well, I'll just order a gin and tonic because I know at the end of the night, every time I take a sip, I'm gonna want to fucking kill myself. But I can't do it. I can't do it.
All right.
Personally, I'm gonna say easy drink, signature drink, tastes like vanilla smells. Hands down, a lot of people are gonna be out there saying, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
Can you elaborate?
Okay, tastes like vanilla smells, and I know you know because you've been here before, but we've had you in the studio. We've had you in the studio a few times. You've been behind the mic. This is your first time behind the mic.
Yeah.
I like to drink tastes like vanilla smells. It's simple concoction, way simpler than you'd think. Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke differs. It's, whatever you want. And then Captain Morgan Spice Rum, hands down, best drink. Give it a shot. It's one of those drinks that you can get at a wedding, and you can have it with anybody you want, and with your buds, and you can always pace yourself, because it's one of those drinks that no matter what time of the night you're at, you always know what your situation is in terms of like basically how smacked you are.
It's respectable.
Yeah, okay. All right, so then we got drinks. We're talking about house parties. We're talking about beer. If you had to go top 3 beers, okay. So then you like wine, but if you had to go top 3 beers,
Top 3 beers.
yeah, what's your go-to?
I'm a fan of a Lagunitas IPA. It's a good drink. You can pretty much get it at any grocery store in Chicago. Pretty much, I know they have something out in California too, so it's getting there. It's a pretty big one. My second go-to, I'm a Corona fan. It's a good summer drink, especially if you're sitting by the pool, going to the beach. Just pack a few Coronas and you're good to go. Third one though, that's a tough one. I don't know what my third one would be.
I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with you on the Corona. I just think there is no real poor time. Oh, excuse me. Well, depending on, like you said it's primarily a summer drink. I feel like there's really no bad time to drink a Corona.
True.
Personally, I'm one of those guys who, if the waitress or the bartender, whoever the fuck it is that's sending it to you, if they're sending it my way and it doesn't have a whole bunch of limes in it, I'm sending it back. I'm going to say, look, you better come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. And no, okay, so you're going to come to me with this Corona. It's going to have this dinky ass lime in it. I want I want this thing stuffed to the brim with limes. I don't know what it is with me and Coronas and limes. But if you get it and the whole entire bottleneck is just not absolutely filled with limes, they did you a disservice. All right, so we got favorite beers out of the way. We got pretty much, we talked about it. What else we got? Favorite, wow, here we go. Favorite wedding drink. No, shit. No, we already talked about that. Favorite wedding drink. God, how many drinks have we tossed back already? We got like at least two or three.
Yeah, I'd say we're doing pretty good.
All right, so we talked about favorite wedding drink. God, I'm an idiot. Favorite, you got a BYOB. There we go. I like that.
Okay.
You got a BYOB. You're going out. You got a house party, informal event, formal or informal. I don't give a shit. What are you bringing?
You know, I feel like this past summer, what became really big was those spiked, like seltzer water kinds of things, like the Trulies, the White Claws. Personally, I'm Team White Claw. I mean, I might be biased because that was the first one I tried, but it's got the highest ABV or is it?
ABV. They got those. They got those things. They got the Trulies. I think the Trulies have the highest ABV of the ones that I've seen. But somebody left a couple of those things over here one time. They had a green one. It tasted like Mountain Dew. Those things, I like those things. Those are good. All right, so you like those?
Yeah, I'd say that's what I'd. It's easy to drink and it's all in cans, so it's portable and not breakable or anything like that. But what about you? What's your go-to?
They got the seltzer in there.
Yeah.
And it gives me the burps. I can't.
Yeah.
There's only so many of those you can do until you're sitting there
true.
coughing up. Just anyways, we got. Yeah, all right. You like those? If I'm not doing beer and I'm going full scumbag, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I don't know if this falls under some open container or not. I'm not sure. Well, it's technically closed because what I like to do is I got one of those extended, I got a blender bottle, and shoot me in the foot if you think this is really bad. I got a big old blender bottle, and then what I do is I just say, all right, Timmy or Jane or whoever I'm going over to, I say, hey, I'm coming over. It's a BYOB. I'm not bringing you anything, but I'm gonna have this big ass blender bottle. Don't judge. And then usually that could be a concoction of pretty much anything. I already told you guys about the taste like vanilla smells. That's a good one. But you don't want to be having a whole bunch of soda. So what I do is I got another drink I call the Pepe. This is a signature. Ooh. This is a signature troll drink. And if anybody asks, if you have to ask, then you don't know. But if you know, then you know. Basically, what you do is you go to Costco or Mariano, Jewel, Benny's, wherever they got it, and Grand Marnier, not a sponsored podcast we got here, but Grand Marnier's got this. They got this pre-made margarita mix, and so I'm not talking about like pre-made, like here's just the juice and then you guys add the stuff. I'm talking this stuff comes with alcohol already in it.
Okay.
So you take a big old bottle of that, and then I get this blender bottle fills up. I mean, you could probably pour an entire thing of wine in there. So you take the entire thing of Grand Marnier, or however much you'll fit inside the blender bottle. You take a shot glass and you pour 2 quick shots of your favorite tequila, or just whatever you got on hand. Give it a good shake. It's not carbonated, so it's not going to explode I've made that mistake before. It's not pretty. Give it a good shake. Throw it on ice. And bring it to wherever you got to go. That's my BYOB drink right there. I like that.
All right, well, I think we've pretty much exhausted the whole food and beverage categories. So, let's move on to the next topic, what I personally think is the most important topic, especially of the day, possibly of the year. That's up to you guys to decide. But, let's talk about some dogs, some puppers.
I love dogs. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just going to go out there and say it, and if you got them, that's fine. Fuck cats, man. Cats are literally the worst animal, I think.
They just lay there all day. They don't do anything.
I feel like all they ever do is you get home, it's complete, it's almost like gin, but a complete opposite. You either like it or you don't. Cats, and I think I'm a little bit biased, and not many people know this, I'm allergic to cats. I can't do it. Whenever I get there, my eyes just start bleeding tears. It's just, I can't handle plus, on top of the fact that I'm allergic, and like I said, I'm biased, I know I'm biased, you walk in the door, long day of work, what do you want to see? You want a pupper who's just up at your toes,
yeah, like wagging his tail.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
You want a pupper who's up in your, hey, oh, hey, buddy, you just got home. I've been waiting here for you all day. I got to walk earlier. I might have shit on the couch, but oh well.
But it's all okay because I love you.
But yeah, so I love you, and you're here, and I love it. And then, or do you want? And now let's talk about the opposite. Or do you want a fucking cat who's gonna sit there on your windowsill, and wait? And the thing is, he's not waiting for you to get home. He's just sitting there, all right, this is my kingdom, and you're just a dumb.
Yeah, he's not even gonna give you the time of day. He's just fucking laying there.
All right, so I love dogs. I know you love dogs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just sitting here. I'm listening to the things that you got in this email. We got pizza. We got drinks. And then she throws out, and this is how she typed it, doggos and or puppers. All right, so we got tonight's topics are pizza and puppers. All right, so let's talk about favorite dogs. What do you got?
I grew up being a Labrador family, so had chocolate lab, had yellow lab, Good dogs, they can be idiots sometimes, but still good dogs. Always happy to see you. But
I'm with you.
Lately I've been getting to the Australian Shepherd game.
Oh my God, I love this. So we got this good story, pretty good story. I know you told me this one over the phone. Tell them about that dog that you got in your neighborhood.
Oh yeah. So I live in an apartment building right now, but there's some townhomes nearby. So on my way to work, on my way to the grocery store, either way, I'm going the same direction. There's this one house that has just a dog that's 9 times out of 10 is going to be laying down or sitting in this frickin' windowsill, and he just stares at it looks like a frickin' statue. You walk past.
You were telling me that she said the first time she ever walked past there, she thought it was because sometimes people got those deer statues in their front yards, and they're just they look so real. But this one, you were walking by the window and you said it looked like a statue, and then.
You notice the eyes are following you, so it's this is an actual dog.
You, and then it blinked, and then it moved. Yeah, oh my God, I'd just be so freaked
Scared the crap out of me.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, so you like Australian Shepherds?
That's my new, possibly new favorite right now.
All right, so I'm a big fan of the doodles. Any type of not poodles just in general because I fucking hate poodles. But if you're gonna go Labrador mixes, because I also grew up with the yellow lab, loved the dog to death. Had another one. Got her in the later years of life, and we'll get to that one in a second. But love yellow labs. I like even better, and I live in an apartment building as well. All these people with these freaking dogs. Labradoodles, golden doodles, labradoodles, any type of doodle, or just and they can't be a tiny dog because tiny dogs suck. You walk in and you feel like you're just gonna step on them and they'll just die.
I'll lose them.
But pretty much every single Labradoodle that I've ever met, and it could be a testament to the owners, they've all just had the best personality. They're all just great dogs. All right, so we got favorite dogs, best dog personalities. Like I said, I already told you. I think.
It's when you walk into a room, you want the dog to acknowledge you, be like, "Hey, my owner's here. My master's here. I'm gonna go hang out with him."
This is my guy, or girl, whoever Don't get triggered. Whoever it may be, walks in there, and this is my guy, and this is the dog who's gonna, wake you up in the middle of the night if you left the pizza in the oven and it's smoking, and he's gonna save your life, man. This is the guy. This is you want. This is why you want. That's right. That's why you want a dog, is because it's for that exact reason right there.
Man's best friend.
They're gonna save you. Yeah. Or women's, whatever. Don't get like I said. Don't get triggered. All right, so let's talk about people who think that, and quote me, don't quote me, whatever. People who think that getting a dog is dissimilar to having a kid. I think this is so fucked. People, you want to weigh in on this? What do you?
I'd like to hear your point of view first. I'm intrigued.
All right, so I got multiple cousins. They all started off. They were dating this girl for a very long time. They got all these. What have you, and let's move in together, and then what do they do? The first thing they do, and this is very early on in their careers, very early on dating, they moved in together, we've been dating for 2 years, let's move in. All right, so we're moving in together. First thing the girl says, I want to get a pup, and don't get me wrong, dogs are great. Just like I said, I love puppers, I love dogs, but they get a dog and they think, this will be great, we'll have somebody else to hang out with, and I love dogs and all that, but what they don't realize and what I think a lot of people don't realize is when you when you buy that dog, you sign that check, you cut that check, you're really fucking yourself. I mean, it's basically the same thing as having a kid in terms of, so like if you're going out traveling, it's the same thing as getting a babysitter. You got to get a dog sitter. You got to make sure you got food. You got to make sure it's well taken care of. It has walks. It's got water. It's got enough. All this stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
No, I agree. I mean, especially like if both the owners of the dog or whatever, you're the only owner, or you own it with your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it is. If both of you guys are working, someone's got to walk the dog during the day, or you have to hire a dog walker, and that can be upwards of like $20 for every walk. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It's
and then
fucking expensive.
that's not even counting the food, the toys, the vet visits, the dog get shots, and all this shit. I mean, it really adds up.
Yeah, they got to get spayed and neutered. I don't know.
It's a responsibility. It's not like.
It is, and I'm not saying don't go out there and don't get a dog, because it is a responsibility, if you're willing to accept it. But don't sit here and play around with the idea that, and it's the same thing that my cousin did. They're like, oh, well, it's just a dog, They were fucked. Hey, you want to go to Cabo San Lucas or Fruca Duca, whatever the fuck it is? Oh, well, let's just head out there. It's good to know that if you're going to go do those things, you don't gotta...
You have to, like, find someone to
right.
take care of your dog for a week or whatever it is.
God, I can't... All right, so that's my opinion on that one. I'm going to have to say... and then the other thing is knowing what you're signing up for when you get a dog. Look, we've already talked about most of the stuff. You're buying food, you got to take care of it, walks, blah, blah, blah. But when you're getting a pup, when you are assigning yourself to the responsibility of another living being, you need to understand that the lifespan of a dog is not the same as the lifespan of a human. There will be a time when this dog, no matter how much you love it, the quality of life will be gone. And that little pupper that you're just now getting, 11, 12, however long down it is, and maybe it gets cancer, 6, 7 years down the road, you're going to have to fucking kill this thing. I mean,
it's kind of morbid to think about, but it's true.
It just wrenches my heart, man. I don't know. People just gotta know.
That's a tough decision to make, but if the dog isn't living a happy life and just can't walk anymore, can't get up, can't take care of itself, then it's time. It's
time to go, man.
Yeah.
My parents had a dog for a real long time. That was the other thing. I want to talk about adopting rescue dogs. Rescue dogs just in general.
Mm-hmm.
They had this 11-year-old yellow lab. Loved the thing to death. Great dog. Had a hip replacement before they got it. And I'm sitting here like, okay, this dog's going to die in 2 years, and then, what's next? Are they going to get another puppy? This thing lived to be 16. We got it when she was 11. Lived to be 16 years old. And the best part about that is, I think it's genius, I really do, with all the hurricanes and tsunamis and all that shit that's happening, whatever the hell's happening on the southeast coast, the whole area over there with all that damage. There's a lot of dogs and stuff that are going to have to be taken care of. The people that either died or the houses got damaged. People are going to have to
lost them or something.
Right. And that's why I think that adopting or rescuing a dog, so long as it's not like a mangy ass going to start biting you or anything like that, I think that adopting a dog is genius. You don't have to pay for all the initial bullshit. Like I said, my parents got that dog. They had the hip replacement and all that other stuff, and they got it after it had all that stuff done to it. So at the end of the day, it's like buying a used car. You know what you're getting into. At that point they'd already had one dog, so they knew they were going to have to put it to sleep eventually.
And the dog lasted for 5 years too.
That's crazy, man. I tell you. I don't know. What else you got? Anything else for tonight?
I emailed you. I said I wanted to talk about pizzas, puppers, and then drinks. We talked about all three of those. I think we went pretty in depth into every category. I think we pretty much wrap things up here.
Yeah, I like that. It was good to have you on. I appreciate you.
Yeah, pleasure to be
over,
here.
Straight off the plane, right off the plane, straight over. And I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Anything for you, Troll.
Oh, okay, don't start with me. All right, so we got that's it for tonight, guys and gals out there. We got tonight's like we said. We got tonight's podcast was about pizza and doggos. Do you agree with what we said? Do you like what we had to say? Let me know. If not, leave it in the comments. Leave a like, leave a dislike comment. Don't be afraid to leave a subscription if you want. If you like it, let me know. Let me know what you guys want to hear about next week, and if you don't, roast me in the comments. If you want to hit me up on Twitter or YouTube at the Chicago Troll. If not, you can send me an email at thechicagotroll@gmail.com. We'll catch you on the next one. You take it easy, Chicago.